What's up everybody, welcome to another video on my channel. In the last video I showed y'all how I make my electric guitar loops, and in this video I'm gonna show you how I make my acoustic guitar loops. So we're gonna cover everything from setting acoustic guitars up, to recording them, mixing them, and finishing up my loops. So if you haven't watched the last video and you're wondering how I make my electric guitar loops, then check it out of course. But now I would say let's not waste any time and let's get straight into it. And yeah, the first thing that we gotta take a look at again is the choice of the guitar again. And basically you have two main choices. You can choose between a nylon guitar and a steel guitar. And the difference is basically the strings. A nylon guitar is way easier to play because the strings are a bit more soft, and a steel guitar is a bit harder to play and the strings are more hard of course. On a nylon guitar you get a very soft tone, and on a steel guitar you get a more crispy and clean tone. I personally prefer a steel guitar. I also own a nylon one, but I like to play the steel guitar more, even though it's harder to play, so you make a little bit more mistakes actually, especially at the beginning, but we know how to chop things up, so it's not a problem anymore. So if you record a whole progression and mess up one chord, you can just re-record the last chord that you messed up, and you don't have to re-record the whole thing, because as I said, we know how to chop things up. So that's the first choice you gotta take, nylon or steel guitar. And then there are actually three ways to record these guitars. The first way, of course, with a microphone, and the choice of the microphone is also very important of course. You can choose between a single microphone, so just a normal microphone, or you can also take a matched pair microphone, and I actually own one, so that means you basically got two microphones. So when you're recording, in the center of those two you got a stereo recording, so you got left and right. Yeah, that's the main point of having a matched pair microphone. If you want a stereo tone on a single microphone, then you would have to use the double tracking method. I'm talking about this in every single video, but basically you record the same thing twice, and then you take one recording, pan it to the left side, and the other recording to the right side, and then you also got a stereo recording. So it's a little bit more work than if you're using a matched pair microphone, but it gets you the same result. And the next method you can use to record your acoustic guitar is pickups, and a lot of steel guitars actually got pickups, also some nylons, but on steel guitars it's more usual. And you can tell if an acoustic guitar has pickups by looking at this thing right here. If it has one of these tone controllers, then it has pickups, so a microphone inside the body of the guitar. And when you're using this method, it's very important to have the settings on this control panel right. You've got knobs for treble, mids and bass, and you really have to make sure that you have a good setup on those. And of course that really depends on the guitar, so I can't give you an exact setup because it completely depends on the guitar that you're using. And then the third method that you can use to record your acoustic guitars is voice memo. So you can just use the voice memos app on your phone. I really like to do it because it sounds a bit more vintage and you get kind of a bit more noise, and I really like the feeling and the emotion that you create when recording through voice memos. Of course you also have to record it twice again, and what you got to keep in mind for all of these methods is that you have to turn down the metronome. So as you can see, the metronome is quite loud. So it is possible that when I put my headphones on now, you would hear the metronome through the headphones in the recording. So what you can do is you can go to options, then to audio settings, and then go to metronome track right here and choose any track that you like. I put it to 25, and then you can go to insert 25 and simply just turn down the volume of the metronome. That way the rest of FL is still at the same volume, but the metronome is a bit more quiet. So now you probably don't hear it through your headphones in the recording anymore. And that was a very helpful thing for me, and it made my recordings a lot cleaner. And then before we come to actually recording the guitar, I always tune my guitars, and I use this standard tuner from FL right here. So before every single project that you make, tune your guitars. And for this loop I'm only gonna use one microphone, so I won't use both because I think that most of the people don't have matched pair microphones, so I'm just gonna use one. So normally I would go to input 1 and input 2, but this time I'm just gonna choose input 1, which is just this microphone right here. Yeah, then let's record something. And as I said in the beginning, if you're using just one microphone like I'm doing right now, you gotta record the exact same thing again in order to get a stereo recording at the end. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. as you just saw, I didn't play 100% on beat, so it wasn't completely perfect. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna time stretch it, and in order to do that, I always render out the recording that I want to time stretch. So I make sure everything sits well. So I cut off the beginning and then also make a little fade out at the end, and then I'm gonna consolidate this one first and then also the other one. Then I hit this icon right here and then hit time warp sample. Then I always delete these auto-generated markers because I want to add my own ones, and then I just add them on every single spot. Yeah, now that we got that done, I want to record some top lines, and the way I'm gonna do it, I will just let this play in the background all the time, and then I'm just gonna improvise, and if I find something I like, then I record it. Yeah, so I recorded a couple of licks and I put everything together, and now we got this. And in order to make everything sound good now, we're gonna time stretch the top lines as well, and then we're gonna mix everything. Okay, so I just time stretch everything, and now we wanna mix the guitars. And to do that, I'm just gonna send them all to an insert. So I select them all and then hit Command and L. And to speed everything up, I'm just gonna add a preset from Guitar Masters 2. So I'm gonna go into mixer presets right here and then just add this acoustic guitar preset to all of the guitars, of course. And then I'm gonna pan each recording to the left and the right side. So we got stereo guitars now. And now everything sounds like this. If you're also looking for some crazy guitar presets, then hear me out real quick. I just dropped Guitar Masters 2, which gives you all of my guitar mixer presets, also amp presets for guitar rig. Then you also get guitar courses, so if you don't play the guitar yet, then you will learn it in just a few minutes. So you're gonna learn everything from your first chords to advanced techniques, and you also get some cool phrases that you can finish, send back what you make with it, and I will send it out to my network. And the best part of it, the mixer presets that you get have been used in major songs. So these are the actual presets that I used in songs with NBA Youngboy, DJ Khaled, Hancho, and a bunch more. So if you're interested in leveling up your guitars, then check out the first link in the description. But now let's get back into the video. Now that we got the guitar sounding right, I want to add some more layers. And since these guitars are very ambient and emotional, I also want to add an ambient vocal. So I just found this one on Splice. And then to fill everything up a bit, I also want to add some keys. So let's add these keys from Unicorda right here. And then finally just two more things. First, one-shot ambience. So an ambient one-shot that is just playing one sound throughout the whole sample, and then also a bass. The bass that I used for that one is this Fuck Me bass from my Stash drum kit. Then on the master I always throw this loop master preset from the Mix Essentials kit. And then I consolidate everything so I don't render it out yet. And the reason for that is because now I can hit normalize and have the sample at a very good volume. And I would say that was already it for this video. I hope you guys learned something from it. If you got any questions, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Also, make sure to check out the Guitar Masters 2 kit if you're interested in leveling up your guitar loops. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and now enjoy the full sample.